interesting. Right. So we've got obviously Kevin's joined. We've got Kevin here. We're also live on TikTok as well for the people who couldn't join through obviously Zoho. What we'll do, we'll give it a few minutes for people to join, and then we can go from there. But what I'll do actually, I'll just double check things are working. So, are you able to see the PowerPoint slide?
I can see the agenda right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, that's perfect. So I can pop back to the webinar. So one of the things I was sort of worried about actually was the fact that most people weren't able to find the link for the webinar because it might have gone to spam. So what I might do is I might resend the registrations, resend all the invitations out.
Yeah, or like a reminder.
Yeah, I mean they would have got a reminder. I just hope people check their junk.
Yeah.
I mean people are joining on TikTok, which is good, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And you know, if people want to join through what do you call it? They've got a link. Thinking maybe put the link somewhere if people are struggling to join. Might put it on the link tree actually. And then we can just say to people, the people who want, you know, who want to join through like the actual platform, they can just click the link in the bio. That's not a problem.
Yeah. Or I was actually going to say if this doesn't have like a specific capacity, does it? This call?
No.
You could put it into your TikTok, like your TikTok live comment or something. Pin it in the comments and be like, you know,
Good
join.
point.
Because I think people, if you're saying loads of people are joining and if they want to ask questions, they can always put it in the Q&A box as well. But you're more likely to look at this webinar than the TikTok. So yeah.
Good point. I mean, hopefully that pins. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I can pin it, to be fair. I'll periodically put it in. I mean,
yeah,
the link will be in the bio as well.
Yeah.
Join our webinar. Go. Okay, cool. That's on there. Got a few more people joining now. We'll give it a few more minutes. There's quite a good audience on TikTok as well, so we can go from there. This is all recorded anyway, so I can always push it out for the people who couldn't join. So I'll give it another 2 minutes and then we can start. I mean, we've said this is going to take about an hour. That's just like an allocated time. So it's probably going to be a lot less now, which is okay. We've got some questions coming in through TikTok though. So I guess whilst we're waiting, we can answer some of them. So we've got someone who has said, sixth form, college or apprenticeship, what are the pros or cons? I don't want to end up working at Primark my whole life. The future after GCSEs is very scary. Yeah, I get that. We both get that. So yeah, I guess I'll go first, and then Yoshi, if you got anything to add, we can go from there. So sixth form, college or apprenticeship, it all really depends on what it is you want to do, right? You know, if you want to do an apprenticeship after GCSE, you'll be looking at level 3 or level 4 apprenticeship. And, you know, you can get some really good finance ones. You can get some really good sort of industry placements, sort of like your more technical ones, or, you know, bricklaying, plumbing, that kind of thing. It all depends on what it is you want to do. If you want to become a doctor, then obviously you've got to go to sixth form, or you've got to go to college, you've got to get those A levels. If you want to possibly go into cybersecurity, then there are level 4 apprenticeships for that. I mean, you know, pros and cons, there's loads to them, right? I could say that, you know, for an apprenticeship, for example, you get paid as a pro. A con is that you study and work in uni or work in college, right? The pro of sixth form college is, you know, you're just studying, which kind of lightens the load a little bit, but a con is that you're not gaining experience at the same time. I mean, that's, you know, what I take from my point of view. I don't know if you've got anything to add, Yoshi.
To be fair, you literally same thing here.
Yeah.
I think there are certain careers that maybe the one I can think of right now is more like healthcare based, like you said, medicine. You know, you do. I mean, we are actually going to talk about this webinar, some stuff related to apprenticeships and medicine, but I won't go into it. But yeah, if you want to go into something like medicine, obviously, I think there's no other option. You have to do A-levels. I think also it depends on your long-term career goals. I know that some people want to aim for like Oxbridge and LSC and all those places. And whilst apprenticeships are very advanced, I don't think those unis have sort of caught up with that standard yet, or kind of like accepting apprenticeship. Not to say they won't in the future. Who knows? They definitely might. So again, if you're aiming to go to certain unis, or if you just really like the look of a certain uni, a certain course, and you're just into that kind of thing, then you have to look further beyond and maybe think A-levels might be the further option. Another thing is that I think a mindset is that you don't always have to do, like, just because you did A-levels and college or whatever, doesn't mean you still can't do a level 3. I know people who have done A-levels and still go into level 3 apprenticeships, just as like if it's a year long, they want some experience before they go off to uni again, or if they want to maybe do a separate qualification if their A-levels or whatever weren't that great. So the options aren't limited to you. It's just your long-term career goals, and there's positives and benefits to everything. Money is probably a pretty big one. But if you're just out of university, just out of GCSEs, you're what, like 16? And that is, you know, a very young age for someone to be studying, working, all those kind of things. So you just have to take into account how, like, mature you are and how well you can adapt and what your home situation is. So there's so many factors. It kind of depends on the person. Both are good options, like excellent options.
100%. Cool. So coming up to 10 past now, let's start the webinar. You know, I know loads of people have registered for whatever reason, you know, might not be able to show up, or you know, struggling to join. This is all going to be recorded, and then I'll leave the link to this in the bio of the TikTok, so obviously people can come and watch it at their pleasure. So let's get started then. So welcome to the XR Apprenticeship webinar. This is our first ever apprenticeship webinar. So, you know, we're still learning, guys. But yeah, let's get started, right? We're streaming to TikTok. I know it's a little screen, so it's going to be hard for you to see. I have put the link for the actual webinar in the chat. So if you guys want to join and see the actual presentation, then you can. So yeah, let's get started. So just a little agenda then. So obviously we'll start with the introduction, move on to understanding apprenticeships. We have a few success stories. We'll talk about medical doctor degree apprenticeships and sort of go through the services that we offer. We then move on to sort of talking about preparing to apply for an apprenticeship and then the next steps, right? So I don't think this is going to take more than about 45 minutes, but, you know, we'll know obviously when we get through there. So a little introduction of myself then. So my name is Haziq. I'm the proud founder and owner of XR Consultancy. So I started XR back in February of this year, like properly, right? I've been going on for sort of just about a year now, but I really truly started around February time. Now, the reason that I started XR is because I have first-hand experience of what an apprenticeship can offer, and I wanted to sort of give that back to people in a sense. So, you know, our mission is to guide and support individuals and to sort of secure those apprenticeship opportunities. So, you know, we want to take you on career journeys, right? Now, if anyone's ever had a free consultation with myself, then, you know, they'll know that that's what it's about. So, throughout this webinar in the PowerPoint presentation, if you open your phone and scan the QR code at the bottom right, you'll be able to visit the link tree. So you'll be able to see our website. You'll be able to follow on TikTok and Instagram. Okay, so let's start with understanding apprenticeships. So what is an apprenticeship to start with, right? Loads of people struggle to understand what an apprenticeship is, or they get a bit confused. So I'll try and sort of simplify it the best I can. So an apprenticeship is a combination of paid work and training in a specific field or industry. So whether that is a manual labor job such as plumbing or bricklaying, or whether it's an office job such as finance or data analytics, or even engineering. The idea of an apprenticeship is that you're working full-time while studying part-time, okay, and you're getting paid to do it. So apprentices earn a wage whilst learning new skills and gaining qualifications. So, they are nationally recognized qualifications that go anywhere from level 2 to level 7. So that is GCSE to master's degree. Now, for anyone who doesn't know the individual levels, level 2 is equivalent to your sort of GCSE. Level 3 is equivalent to your A-level or BTEC. Level 4, 5, and 6 is going to be your 3 years of your degree. So your first year is going to be equivalent to level 4, second year, level 5, third year, level 6. Then a level 7 is equivalent to a master's degree. Now, apprenticeships, they typically last between 1 and 5 years. That depends on level and industry. So most degree apprenticeships do last about 48 months, which is 4 years. But I have seen, I know the Amazon ones actually, they actually last 42 months. So like six months early. I don't know why. It's possibly just something that that they do differently. But yeah, so I've got a little graphic here. Now this is the AstraZeneca candidate application roadmap for apprenticeships. So what you can see here is you can sort of see like in a flow chart kind of way how to get an apprenticeship, or how the different process of getting one. So you've got number 1 is your job search. So this is where you're actually finding the apprenticeship. Now, if you've ever used XR Consultancy before, or if you're new to XR, then all you need to do is click the link in my bio if you're on TikTok. If not, head over to XR Consultancy. We're actually able to scour the internet to find all of these apprenticeships all the way from level 2 to level 7, right? Vacancies are coming in every single day. You can search as well. So you can search your what employer there is, for example, like Amazon, JLR, that kind of thing. You can also search the qualification type or the location. You click the search button. It will take a few moments, but the reason it does is because it's searching a whole load of places, okay? And then it'll give you a list of these apprenticeships. It'll give you the location, the salary, and a button to apply, okay? So that's a way to find the apprenticeship. And then you need to apply. Now, most, if not all, apprenticeships will have something called online assessment. So, Yoshi, I'm not sure if you've ever done an online assessment before. Yeah, plenty. There's loads of different ones, right? Isn't there? So, from personal experience, when I've done it before, I had ones where you had to like pop a balloon a certain amount of times until it popped, and then there was like the coin games and the money games.
So I think those are the most interesting ones, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So these, these online assessments are to sort of see how you handle like logical situations, right? And they're not there to trick you. They're actually there to sort of understand how you think. Now, a lot of people can actually get put off by this. So it is something that we're trying to help people with. The one biggest thing that I say to people, and the one biggest piece of advice that I would give, is that if you're doing an online assessment or an online test, make sure you're in a quiet area of your house, or, go to the library or something. Make sure that, you don't overthink it, right? So just think about it like you're playing a game. And if you get through, you get through. If you don't, you don't. Okay. That's the way I would sort of see it. Then you move off into your assessment day. So your assessment day is going to be sort of a group exercise. I remember my assessment day, it was a bit of a blur. I mean, I remember them turning around and saying, we put you in groups and you're on like a desert island and you need to do all of this to make sure that you're getting off. What items do you take? What do you leave behind? Again, it's logic, isn't it? And they want to see how you work together in a team. They want to see how you're interacting with people. Who's shining in that group exercise. Ayushi, I'm not sure if you remember your.
Oh God, it's so funny you said that. I had the exact same scenario in my assessment center for not the company I'm with, actually, a different company, for my like actuals in person. And yeah, it was literally the exact same, like, desert island. Mine was only like a year ago, so it was just you had to rank what items you would take into this desert island. You had to work as a group. And yeah, it's just like working as a team. To be honest, they also scored us though, so that's also something you could watch out for. So while we were working, we had like a point system. So what kind of items you picked, you'd get a point, and then at the end, the person who got the most or the least points, I can't remember, would be like the person who's the most, whatever, best to take on an island. Or and actually I got the one who, I think I got the person with the most points, so I assume it was like the better one. And then they did actually ask me, like, so how come your team as a total got a different score to you? Why? What was that? So they while you're doing these, they will examine you, and they will definitely try and put some questions out your way to see how you can handle it. But I think the main point is just, you would definitely agree with it, but like, just be polite, be respectful, listen to everyone's opinions, and just kind of don't get too heated if someone's not listening to you. Remember, someone is watching you. That's that kind of stuff. But don't also be too stiff as well.
Yeah,
the main point.
100%. Cool. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to sort of answer questions as and when they come throughout, like the obviously TikTok and also the Q&A section in this webinar. So we've got a question coming in from Abdishakur. So he's basically asked, what are the best websites to find work experience? Now, to be honest with you, I would say LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a good place to start, but Indeed is going to be a best place to find work experience. Now, the reason Indeed is the best place is because that's where part-time jobs are being advertised anyway. So what they'll do is they'll try and find interns, and they'll also try and find people for work experience there. But another thing you can try and do, instead of going on websites, you can actually just go into your local shops in a city center, or you can email different accounting firms, for example, different engineering firms locally, and just ask the question to say, do you guys have any work experience going on? Because that is really, really, useful to do. And I don't know about you, Ayushi, and I seen Wes has joined now as well, which is good. I don't know if you guys, have any more input on what kind of websites you can use to find work experience. In my personal experience, I've always found work experience through Indeed, possibly LinkedIn sometimes as well.
Yeah, I think actually, yeah, online websites, like I think Grad Cracker, I know they do grad schemes, sorry, but I have seen a couple of like apprenticeships posted on there, so I wouldn't doubt it if they had like internships and work experience, it might be worth. And there's so many job boards that are also like just STEM focused, so I literally search up STEM focused job boards, work experience, and see what that turns. But I think, yeah, you're right, the best ones are actually like going up to someone in like a company and asking them, like as they say in corporate, your network is your net worth. So if you approach someone then when you're young and you show you're eager, the worst they can say is no. And the best thing that comes out of it is that you show you're eager and you want to learn, and that can't be a negative in anyone's eyes.
Okay, no problem. No, that's fine, right? And we've got another question coming in through TikTok. So someone's asked, do you know any specific questions they always ask in assessment centers? So I do have a list compiled. Now, we offer apprenticeship guidance services. We also offer assessment center coaching. So yeah, I'll give you some questions that have been asked recently. So I will give them in this webinar. However, if you are looking to apply, and if you are serious about getting a degree apprenticeship in the near future, I would highly recommend booking interview coaching through XR Consultancy. The link in my bio on TikTok, you can head over to XR Consultancy and book a session. If you're unsure a little bit, don't think you need it, maybe need it a little bit, but you don't know, book a free consultation. That's 100% free, impartial advice there. But what I can do is I can actually get one of the questions that was asked up. So you guys can actually get a taste of what has been asked recently. So just in the meantime, Ayushi, do you remember any sort of questions they asked you or anything like that?
Yeah, it's been, it's literally, I think, been just over a year since I have. To be honest, I think I did about 3 assessment centers, and there was a trend. Obviously, like I said, the questions, it could be group exercise, it could be different. So for the current company I'm at, they had a one-to-one online one. It depends what tasks they've given you. So if they've given you a task to present with code, for example, if you're in tech code, they'll ask you technical questions. If it's something like a build a project or tell us about yourself, they do follow a pattern. It's always starts off with tell us about yourself, something that interests you, why you're interested in this company. The one I got asked for Santander, so where I work, they asked me, how did you research about this company? And I could tell from like their answer, the people that were interviewing me, they're looking for not the usual, like kind of, I looked on Google and I went to see like whatever. I said I looked at their social media, I looked at their like motives, their strategies they posted. I looked at some like previous financial records. Like you just have to kind of really show that you're going above and beyond what other people are doing. There was a couple of questions that tripped me out as well. So I thought I'd done a lot of preparation in terms of like what the technology atmosphere is looking like, but they did ask me some like specific, like, what did you think about this news article that came out? And I was like, okay, right, I don't really know how to answer that. So I did say to them, okay, I feel like I am familiar with this question, with this article, but I may not be the best. I won't be able to give the best response because I just don't think I've read it fully or thoroughly enough. I'd be happy to talk about XYZ, which is something similar, or you could also say to them, I'd be happy to talk about another topic, maybe in these kind of categories. So yeah, don't ever just kind of close yourself off and be like, I don't know, I'm sorry. That just kind of creates like an awkward atmosphere. Do try and like carry the conversation forward whilst also putting yourself like, showing that you can work and solve problems, because at the end of the day, no one's going to expect you to know everything about like this industry. You are literally joining as an apprentice, as a newcomer, and you have so many opportunities to learn. You're not expected to compete against like people who've already graduated and stuff like that, but you are expected to know how to problem solve, especially in interview scenarios. So yeah, any sort of question they can throw at you, obviously do your best. Like I said, XR do an amazing job at coaching and consulting, but just don't panic and carry the conversation forward.
Yeah, 100%. And just got one of the questions up that was asked at an assessment center this year. So they said, so I had some feedback from how it went. So first of all, they said it started a bit late, which was knocked to confidence a little bit. It's not the best, but what can you do? First question they asked was, why did you consider an apprenticeship? Okay, so there's lots of different ways you can answer that question, but the one thing that I would say is be honest, because they can see you lying through your teeth from a mile away. You know, don't forget, guys, the people who interview you have interviewed hundreds, if not thousands of people before. You know, they can see bull crap when they see, you know, they know it when they can see it, that kind of thing. Another question is, you know, why did you choose this company? So, for example, if you're applying to Amazon, why did you choose Amazon? If you're applying to JLR, why did you apply for JLR? It's such an easy question because, you know, if you're being honest, you can tell them exactly why you applied for that role. Why do you want to work for this company? Is it the location? Is it, you know, the company values? Is it the core values that you align with? Do you like the strategic goals and objectives of that company? You know, what about the company do you like? And then the rest of the interview is going to be based around, you know, something that the company cares about. For example, if they want to go carbon net zero or, you know, reduce CO2 or something like that, they're going to have core values and missions around that. So they might base the assessment center around that as well. So it's really, really important that you actually research the company before you do it. Just taking a look at some questions on TikTok as well that are coming through. One of the questions is, how can I apply for the NHS Medicine Doctor Degree Apprenticeship? That is coming up in the webinar, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Also, someone said, do you have a free call that I can book for tomorrow? If you look on the website, so XR Consultancy, go to book a service. The calendar is there, so you guys can obviously work around your own timings as well. So that's the assessment center, right? And then you're going to get an outcome. So the outcome is basically an email to say, we're going to progress you onto the next stage, or, you know, really thank you for your time. Unfortunately, we're not progressing to this stage. You know, I can tell you that I had about 12 rejections before I landed the degree apprenticeship that I wanted. So don't worry if you don't get the apprenticeship first time, okay? There are more better things ahead. Then obviously you get your shortlisting, your job offer, and that's when you start. But let's move on, right? So if we take a look here, the next part is kind of linked. So what is it like to be an apprentice? Because I don't know, you know, it's very easy for us to say, you know, this is how you get an apprenticeship, right? But the whole point of this webinar is to sort of explain what it's actually like. You know, what are the things you do day to day that make being an apprentice worthwhile? Now, I'm going to give myself as an example, right? So this is a picture of myself at the Multicultural Apprenticeship Awards. This was last year. Now, you know, I was a finalist there, but, you know, I really want to make it clear. I want to stress that going for awards doesn't make you a good apprentice, okay? It's an excellent opportunity to network, and it's an excellent opportunity to see what other people are doing, which is why I attend. You know, being nominated as a finalist for these apprenticeship awards, it's really, really good. And, you know, I'm really, really happy that I've had the opportunity to go there and do that. But, you know, why have I been nominated? Okay. You know, there's nothing stopping you guys as apprentices, as degree apprentices, from getting nominated for these kind of awards. You know, you've got Data IQ, you've got the IT and Digital Apprenticeship Awards, and you've got Multicultural Apprenticeship Awards as well. Now, the reason is because of everything that I've done over the past few years as an apprentice. For example, I've delivered over £80 million of value for the business. That is since day one as a degree apprentice, right? So that just shows that what it's like to be an apprentice, you are not put on the sidelines, okay? You are working on real world, high value projects from day one, okay? So I've presented to directors and stakeholders both within and outside the business. So we've had consultancy firms come in and cost up things, and, you know, I've had to present to them. We've had directors, you know, even up to the CEO and CFO come into the business, come into the actual department and say, you know, what is it that you guys are doing? Can you guys help? This kind of thing. You know, I was given the opportunity to present, and loads of other degree apprentices in the business that I work at have the same opportunity. And finally, studying at the top 10 university in the UK, which is fully paid for by the business. So these are just short examples of what it is actually like to be an apprentice, right? Now, I could go on for ages, And I don't know, Ayushi, do you have anything to add here? What is it like from your point of view? How do you feel being an apprentice in 2024?
Well, I'll start. I was never nominated for awards, so I feel a bit like, oh gosh, I'm going after you now.
Oh,
I really my
you've got
fancy.
time though. Don't worry, you've got time.
we hope. Oh God, what is it like being an apprentice? It's good. It's very good. I think also like depends on what companies. Like you said, you're with JLR, right? So JLR, like fantastic, really big corporation. I'm with Santander, so we're a bank. So yeah, of course, day to day. In my first year, I've had so many opportunities and so many different rotations. It's been interesting. Could not tell you how much I delivered in value though, just yet. But I can tell you that obviously same opportunities, like we've had so many opportunities to present to the people like CFOs, even the CEO at one point as well, they come in to have talks with the apprentices. So I think it depends, the company's good as well knit community there. And it's been, I honestly, I would not change my experience for anything. So it's been so much fun. And I hope one day I can also be nominated or a finalist for one of these awards. You've inspired me.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, we will help you in that respect as well. Going for awards it's not the be all and end all, right? And I think it's really important to see the bigger picture in stuff like this. Which we'll help you get there, don't worry. So I'm just updating the TikTok whilst we're here. Let me just crop this a little bit. A short interlude. Here we go. I'm just trying to add you onto the TikTok as well, because I know people are going to be sort of wondering who this is. So this is our XR Apprenticeship ambassador, guys. Yeah, what I'll do, I'll come over here, and then we've got you there as well. Okay, you are now on here. Right. So, yeah. Sorry, guys. 2 seconds. It is bugging me. So yeah, I guess talking about the awards then on that respect, I really want to make it clear to people that don't get disheartened if you don't get awards, because they don't mean much. And this is what I try and tell people, right? I'm really grateful for being able to go for these awards, and don't get me wrong, it's a very big honor for me. But at the end of the day, the thing that matters most to me is actually the work that I'm producing at JLR, because that's what's having a real world impact. And so that's what matters, right? Not some award that I'm going to forget straight away. So yeah, don't worry about the awards, but also it is possible. That's another thing, right? The awards are possible, which is another reason people should go for apprenticeships, I feel. So yeah, there we go. Got you on now, so go for that. Perfect. So moving on to success stories. So we've got a couple of success stories here from people who've gone through the XR system, right? Who've had their career journey through XR. So these two, we've got Priya and we've got Avni. They came to me. They were in the first year of the first sort of month of year 13. So they are actively looking for apprenticeships, right? And they came to me saying, I really want a degree apprenticeship, but I don't know what to do, and I don't know how to answer questions, and I've never done an interview before. So they were kind of saying, like, help me. So, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, we made sure that we took them on a career journey. So they both had interview coaching sessions with myself. And, you know, from the very onset, we could work with them because they'd never had interviews before, and let alone degree apprenticeship interviews. And they were pretty much like really, really nervous and really scared that they were going to bottle it. So I think Priya was going for KPMG, and I think Avni was going for Accenture. So really, really big companies, right? And, you know, so we brought in the expertise that we have. So we have loads of interview questions already, you know, ready to go. So people can sort of understand, you know, what kind of questions they may ask. So, you know, we went through a full interview coaching session with them. And I think on average, they had about 3 each. And, you know, at the very end, they managed to both get offers, which I thought was excellent. So, you know, on this PowerPoint here, we've had Priya write in a review. So she said, you know, she found the interview coaching session very helpful for her degree apprenticeship interviews and assessment centers. She'd received 2 offers to date. So when she'd written the review, she'd received 2 offers. And I think she'd emailed me afterwards to say that she'd actually received more offers, which is excellent, right? And similar with Avni, right? She knew nothing about degree apprenticeships. She went through the XR career journey. You know, she was given a free consultation. She liked what she heard. She thought that, you know, she needed some mentoring, some guidance on how to do interviews. And ever since then, she managed to get an offer for the one that she applied for. And, you know, she's finally gotten, you know, starting this September, which is, again, it's excellent, right? And I know yourself, Yoshi, I don't think you went through the XR career journey, did you?
No, I wish I had
No.
though. Honestly,
Yeah,
it sounds brilliant.
you
And
did,
I'm not
you did,
just saying that.
yeah, 100%. You did very, very well. But again, you know, we were able to get you to come on as an apprenticeship ambassador. And it's one of those where, you know, becoming an ambassador, you know, you can give your time to these people who want to get on as as degree apprentices or apprentices in general. And, you know, we could really make a difference here, you know, given these success stories. So yeah, I did see one question here. So yeah, we've got a question on TikTok come through. So that question says, do you get to drive the cars? Yes and no. So insurance is a big problem. So struggle to get insured on the cars, but when we do get to drive the company cars, but this is only for business purposes, right? I have to stress that because it's not like, you know, they won't just give you a car for personal use, right? It's got to be linked to company business use. You've got to actually be doing something for the business to be able to get a car. And that's the same with every business that you get into, right? So moving swiftly on, I think we're doing okay for time, actually. Medical doctor degree apprenticeships. I know loads of people have been interested in trying to understand what the hell is going on, when are they offering them, what is happening. So here's what we know so far. The launch date is going to be September 2024, and that's for 200 apprentices. Now, I believe that is only one of the NHS trusts, and, you know, I think they have quite a few already confirmed, but we are looking to get some more released within the next few weeks. I'm not sure when they're coming out because I haven't really told anyone. But as soon as they do come out, an email will get sent out to everyone subscribed, and obviously we'll have those listed on XR Consultancy for people to apply to as well. But loads of people have the question to me. They ask, you know, what is the difference, right? This sounds way too good to be true. You know, medical doctor degree apprenticeships sounds like the NHS are going to be paying for your degree. They're going to be paying you. If you get the same medical degree, why? It's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you go for that? A few caveats. First of all, very, very, very competitive to get into. So, you know, you can see that 200 people starting this September, that is very, very low compared to the annual number of people who apply to med school across the UK. But, you know, they have said that it's going to be the same as a traditional medical degree. They want to increase the workforce plan. You know, that's part of the NHS's long-term workforce plan, right? Now, apprentices will earn a medical degree plus the medical licensing assessment. So essentially, what we can tell is going to be exactly the same as a typical medical degree. Now, you know, this seems like a really, really good scheme for people to get into. Now, what I would suggest people to do is, if you're on TikTok, click the link in my bio and head over to where it says Medical Doctor Degree Apprenticeships. We have a full page there dedicated to them. You're able to put your email address in and you can get notified as soon as the degree apprenticeships do come out. We also have the page on there where as soon as they do come out, you're going to be able to apply as usual, right? In the meantime, if you guys also head over and join our Discord server, that is where you guys can collaborate, you guys can talk. You know, if anyone hears anything, they can put stuff in there. We are going to sort of be pushing the Discord server out quite soon. You know, more people really need to get involved. Although I do suspect it will get a lot better as, you know, certain apprenticeships start coming out September, October, November time. We can really just sort of, you know, push the Discord server out there. But guys, the link in my bio on my TikTok has every single link that you'll need to apply, to be a doctor, to be an apprentice, anything to do with apprenticeships, XR Consultancy, Discord, it's going to be there. So another question just come in. So how do I apply for it? At the moment, we have to wait to see when they do come out. But when they do, XR Consultancy, Doctor Degree Apprenticeship page, all of the vacancies are going to be there. Okay. So moving on to our services. So as you guys know, XR Consultancy do offer, oh, there we go. Don't know why that happened. So XR Consultancy do offer services such as consultations, interview, assessment center coaching, CV and cover letter workshops, and also apprenticeship guidance workshops as well. So as we'd seen in our previous sort of success stories from Priya and Avni, the interview coaching by XR is proven very, very effective. All of our clients so far, I think we have 100% success rate, you know. From everyone who's had an interview coaching session, they've had at least one offer come back from the place that they'd applied for. So, you know, that's not just on us as well, because we're taking them on their career journey. That's also on them because they've actually put the effort in. They've listened to what, you know, has been said during the sessions. We've had mock interviews and they've done very, very well. You know, similarly with the CV review services, so we've actually come out with a new CV review service, right? So if anyone needs to get their CV reviewed, it's a flat fee, $4.99. All they've got to do is purchase the service from XR Consultancy. They'll then need to send their CV to the email address listed on the page. Within 24 to 48 hours, they'll get a professional report back. This will be able to sort of explain what is good with the CV, what is bad with the CV, and how they can improve. So that's like a recent thing that we've started to offer as well. For anyone who wants to book a session with us, you're going to be able to get 10% off all services by using the code webinar10. So it is on this PowerPoint, and I'm also going to link it in on the website as well for people to see. So once you end this webinar, it's going to take you over to the post feedback page. That's going to have the that's actually going to have the code on there as well. So how do you apply for apprenticeships? So, you know, we've been working really, really hard over the past year to try and get a really good functioning, you know, platform, user-friendly platform that people can actually apply for apprenticeships through. Don't get me wrong, you know, we've got a long way to go to get it there. However, if you click onto XR Consultancy and click apply for an apprenticeship, you will get pretty much every single vacancy from level 2 to level 7 that is available in the UK today. You know, we have a really nice user interface. that shows the closing date, the location, and the salary, as well as a button to actually go and apply for that apprenticeship. Okay. It's pretty straightforward. Again, the link is in my bio if you're on TikTok. If not, all you need to do is scan the bottom right corner of this webinar. It'll take you to the link. It'll take you to the link tree, which then will able to take you further. A lot of links, right? So, you know, just sort of going back to you, Ayushi, you know, when you applied for your apprenticeship, how were you feeling? How many did you apply for? You know, what was it? What was the consensus? What was going through your head?
I mean, when I say I wish I had XR, I really, really do mean I wish I had XR. And actually, I'm saying that from a person. Honestly, I am saying it not just to promote the business, but for me, well, it started off that I wanted to do computer science at uni. I didn't really know why. I just thought it looked like a cool degree, and I was like, okay, it looks like a cool degree. It looks like you can do lots of things with it, and the pay seems to be pretty decent across all in like industry. So I thought, okay, that's fine. And my school was a all girls grammar school, so usually there is a stereotype that they try and push like uni more than apprenticeships. At least that was the case for my year. So I kind of had to like scout out like kind of apprenticeships myself, go to like kind of webinars like this, or go to people and speak to them who were already apprentices at companies and see what their experience was. When I finally, I applied to, honestly, I think I applied to so many from like the start of year 13 all the way till when I got mine. I was just consistently applying because they are open, like the kind of the time frame in which they open was all different for different companies. I was just consistently applying. And I think I did do a total of about 50 just applications in general. I don't know how many, I lost count after I got my first like acceptance and I confirmed it, got my letter and like was basically onboarded. I just didn't care about the rest of them. I've received quite a few, I think 3 or 4 assessment centres. I didn't end up doing all of them either. So I think my assessment centres were Santander, which I'm at right now, Pfizer, which I actually did do the assessment centre for, and then I got Vodafone and Amazon. And I didn't end up doing Vodafone and Amazon, but I did the other 2. And yeah, finally I'm here. It was a very long journey. I honestly cannot stress this enough. It seems like it saves you as a person who wants to apprentice so much time and energy that literally you can use the time and energy to update your CV or practice your interview skills. So yeah, I think this tool is actually amazing for that kind of stuff, because I can remember vividly trying to go through like the LinkedIn job boards or just any job boards from the company itself, and it's not very sometimes it's not very user friendly. So you do have to take some time and like, you type this out, type that out. So that's really.
Yeah, 100%. And it's really interesting you say, you wish you had something like this, because, it was part of the reason why I created this, because I wish I had it as well.
Exactly.
It was really, really hard trying to keep track of which apprenticeships were open, what vacancies were there and stuff like that. And, I've just put something else on the TikTok now. So if any of you guys watching end up getting an apprenticeship this year, or starting in September, or are you even thinking about applying next year, keep XR's Apprenticeship Ambassador Network in mind. So it's really, really easy to join. All you need to do is click the link in my bio, head over to XR Ambassador and put your registration in. It's completely free to do. And guys, there's nothing really that's expected from you apart from, you get these opportunities to come to these kind of events, to sort of talk like Ayushi is doing. This is something that Ayushi can then go back and put on a CV and say, I helped prepare and attend, an apprenticeship webinar to sort of promote apprenticeships, that kind of thing. And, it's a really good way of networking as well, right? Because I wouldn't have known Ayushi wouldn't have known me. So it's a really, really good way of doing that as well. So you guys, if any of you are interested in joining the Ambassador Network, either click the link in my bio and apply that way, or you can email ambassador@xrconsultancy.co.uk with your application, and we will pick it up from there. Oh, pretty loud. So yeah, let's sort of move on to the next steps then. So kind of at the end of the webinar now. So the next steps for you guys is to sort of take this into your own hands, right? So make sure, if you're not already, to follow us on social media for the latest apprenticeship news and advice. That also includes medical doctor degree apprenticeships too, right? If you guys, like I said, if you want to become an apprentice ambassador with XR, link in the bio or email ambassador@xrconsultancy.co.uk. I'm also gonna write that now, actually, ambassador@xrconsultancy.co.uk. I'm gonna put that in the TikTok chat, just so people can know that if you are an apprentice, no matter if you're level 2 to level 7, we want all of you guys email that with just a sentence to say why you think you should be an apprentice ambassador. We will then get back to you, right? Make sure you're following on TikTok. Make sure you're following on Insta. We really want to sort of push the Instagram a little bit. I think I've been really TikTok focused right now, but Instagram is still there. So make sure you're following @XR Consultancy on Instagram and @Hazy671, which is my personal TikTok account, which sort of pushing apprenticeships further. But yeah, I mean, sort of at the end of it now, I mean, is there anything else you want to add to this, Yoshi?
I was just going to say,
sort of spoken about.
I think there's a question, just someone asked, what are both of your roles? I assume as apprentices, what are both your roles?
Okay. Do you want to go first then?
I don't mind, honestly. So I am a DTS apprentice, which is a Digital Technology Solutions apprentice. And I currently, in Santander, I work in the core payments department. And without going too much into it and getting in trouble later, we literally work with payments and what you expect a bank to do, working with transactions, international payments, CHAPS payments, which are big international payments, making sure that the APIs. So API is something that it's like a contract and it directs one piece of information to another piece of information, which is the endpoint where you receive it. And I'm kind of responsible for building the microservice, which is the logic that sets the API. It's really hard to explain this in an easier way, sorry, but this is just kind of the topics I'm working on right now. And actually, interestingly, right before this webinar, I was thinking about like, well, what am I going to say and stuff. And yeah, as an apprentice, you get to see so many cool things. I got to see how an ATM lab works. So we got to quite literally, we have like a set of simulated ATMs and real ATMs. I'm not allowed behind the real ATM, unfortunately. But they take out, like, they have money worth up to millions in there, and they will like deposit, check, things like that. And Santander was the first, it's not a very cool fact to be honest, but it's the first ever bank to have an ATM machine that can deposit and receive cash in the same machine.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that because I'm seeing Santander machines all the time, but now I go out and I'm like, okay, I can see. So yeah, you get to see cool things. And we have rotations. I think it's similar to yours because I guess we do the same kind of course. But yeah, if you want to go into how yours is set up.
Yeah, 100%. So like Yoshi, I'm also doing DTS, so Digital Technology Solutions. I'm obviously sort of specializing in data analytics, but I'm with JLR, so completely different company, right? So the structure actually of, we were talking about this earlier, the structure of our degrees are actually set up quite differently in terms of how the business delivers it. So, I don't rotate around the whole business, whereas a Yoshi does. And, loads of different companies, although they offer the same degree and the degree standard, it's actually quite different how they deliver that. So, yeah, it's really, really cool, actually. I work in data analytics. So, I'm working on Tableau, I'm working on Power BI, all these kind of things. And, Mwes, I'm not sure if Mwes wants to talk about it, but he's also doing, software engineering. It's not an issue if you don't, Mwes, don't worry. But yeah, so, we have a wide breadth of people here. And, a couple of apprentices couldn't make it our ambassadors. We were going to have a talk from Sard. Unfortunately, technical issues meant that we couldn't do that. It would have been really good to see what he was doing, but you know, we've got future events for that to happen, right? But he was a mechanical engineer degree apprentice with JCB. So, you know, he was going through loads of, you know, really intense, really hardcore placements, which, you know, as a degree apprentice is crazy, right? So, yeah, I mean, this is the end of the webinar. Now, if anyone has any more questions, we'll be happy to take them. I'll give it a couple of minutes for the questions to come in either on TikTok, guys, or through the Zoho platform if you want to just ask a question in the Q&A section. Sort of in the meantime, I think, yeah. So we've got the final page here. So the website is xrconsultancy.co.uk. Email address, if you guys want to email me, it's haziq.hussein@xrconsultancy.co.uk. Social media, so Instagram, Facebook, X, and LinkedIn is going to be at XR Consultancy, or TikTok is going to be at Hazi671. Guys, remember, we've got a discount code as well. So if you use the code webinar10, you're going to get 10% off all of our services. So interview coaching, assessment center coaching, your CV and cover letter, you know, sort of guidance services, your apprenticeship guidance services. So quite a big discount, right? And we also do like a coaching loyalty scheme as well. So for every session that you have after your first, you're going to get discounts and you get points, and you know, it's a really interactive system, right? So if there are no other questions, I guess we can leave it here. I think we're really good on time here. We just finished at 7, aren't we? So yeah, is there anything else you'd like to add, Yoshi, before we sort of end?
No, I'd just like to say thank you for attending, everyone. And I think everyone, if you don't attend it, everyone, it's fine, but we should give like a little applause to Haziq for pulling this off. He's done brilliantly. So yeah, thank you to Haziq for having me on, and thank you to everyone attending.
No, thank you, Yoshi. And, you know, thanks, guys, for joining and staying with us. I know we haven't had the best technical, you know, look, but, you know, they'll get better as we move on. Yeah, 100%. Guys, link in my bio on TikTok if you want to learn anything that we talked about. I'm going to actually upload this webinar to YouTube, so there'll be a YouTube link for people who missed it. But apart from that, you know, really, really good speaking to you guys. And yeah, speak to you soon.
Thank you.
No worries. Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.